Men. Let's dive into the most painful and ethically challenging question faced by men in committed, long-term relationships. How long does a man have to tolerate being told no before he's allowed to look for sex elsewhere? This question cuts right to the heart of the crisis you face in a sexless marriage. It's not just about physical release. It's about dignity, validation, and the profound feeling of being denied a fundamental, foundational pillar of a healthy partnership. You are a good man. You have values. You believe in your commitment. But when your wife consciously, repeatedly withholds intimacy, a known weapon of control, where does your responsibility end and your right to self-preservation begin? We are going to break down the logical argument for seeking intimacy outside the marriage and, more importantly, the crucial moral and psychological reasons why cheating is usually the worst betrayal, not of her, but of your own integrity. If you've ever wrestled with this devastating dilemma, please hit that like button now. Tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? And please subscribe to support men's emotional health and vitality. The myth perpetuated by our current society, a gynocentric or women-centered society, is that if a woman is withholding sex, the man must be the problem. The narrative insists that the man is somehow at fault, having done something to make her shut down or undesiring. The health-critical truth is that women consciously weaponize and withhold sex. This is a devastating, documented strategy used to control, punish, and emasculate their good husbands. The logical argument, the trap. From a purely rational standpoint, if one partner denies a fundamental, agreed-upon component of the marriage, sexual intimacy, it is logically reasonable for the deprived partner to seek that need elsewhere. In some cultures, women explicitly say, "Go get a mistress," because it removes the burden of their own obligation. The societal denial. Our culture actively refuses to acknowledge that a woman can consciously weaponize sex. Instead, it buys into her victim stories narratives about what he has done to her and uses sweeping, generalizing movements, like believal women, to group all men, including the good men, into a small percentage of abusers. The gaslighting cycle. When a man is provoked into anger or reaction by the withdrawal, she points the finger. See how he talks to me? See his reaction? He is the problem. The good man often buys this gaslighting, believing, "I did react badly. I must be the problem." This is the matrix you live in. Biologically, living in this constant state of deprivation, gaslighting, and perceived blame triggers chronic cortisol stress. This stress drives you toward a desperate solution, cheating, which your body subconsciously knows will bring temporary relief, but at the cost of long-term self-respect. Emotionally, the denial of sex is an attack on your dignity. Your desperation to seek validation outside the marriage is a logical consequence of being starved for affection and respect at home. In my 5 years working with men facing this reality, the truth of the logical argument stands: you are being denied a fundamental need. However, the reason most good men don't cheat, and the reason it is almost always destructive if they do, is found in the high morals and values you possess. The integrity barrier. Good men have deeply ingrained morals, often religious or ethical structures, that guide them. When a good man crosses his own moral line, he experiences profound remorse, guilt, and inner turmoil. The psychological cost. You feel bad about yourself not because your wife is angry, but because you betrayed your own standards. That internal feeling of being untrue to yourself is far more damaging to your health than the original denial of sex. The hidden betrayal. Furthermore, you must understand that sometimes the sexual deprivation is part of a larger strategy to push you to cheat. Why? So she has the maximum possible ammunition, the worst betrayal, to use as a weapon against you when she inevitably decides to leave or blame the marriage breakdown entirely on you. Your job is not to win the logical argument. Your job is to preserve your own integrity and character in the face of this emotional attack. If the logical necessity is pulling you toward cheating, here are the 5 health-critical reasons why that act is often the final nail in the coffin of your self-worth. 5. The betrayal of self-integrity, erosion. The destruction. Cheating forces you to violate your high moral code, whether it's fidelity, honesty, or religious conviction. Biologically, this act creates severe internal conflict, cognitive dissonance. The resulting guilt triggers a spike in stress hormones, leading to depression and a total loss of self-respect. You trade temporary physical relief for chronic psychological pain. Emotionally, you lose the one thing you need most right now, internal confidence. You become a liar and a hypocrite in your own eyes. Practically, you surrender the high ground in the marriage, giving her the ultimate weapon and confirming her narrative that you are the problem. This next reason is about power and control. 4. Playing directly into her hand, the ammunition, the destruction. You give your wife the exact outcome she might subconsciously be seeking to justify her eventual departure or blame. Biologically, you accept a high-risk scenario for a low-reward outcome. The heightened fear of discovery keeps your nervous system in a state of hypervigilance, increasing long-term health risks. Emotionally, you allow yourself to be manipulated by her behavior. You provide her with the perfect, clean narrative to destroy your reputation and secure the moral victory. Practically, if the marriage ends, you are the one labeled the villain, regardless of the years of emotional deprivation you endured. This reason addresses the fleeting nature of the solution. 3. The solution is cosmetic, not causal. The destruction. Cheating only addresses the symptom, lack of sex, and completely ignores the cause, her control, unhappiness with herself. Biologically, the temporary relief of sex only provides a transient dopamine hit. It does nothing to resolve the cortisol from the stress of the bad marriage or the added stress of secrecy and guilt. Emotionally, you confirm to yourself that you are dependent on external validation, weakening your resolve to fix your internal life and set strong boundaries. Practically, the guilt quickly outweighs the pleasure, and you are left exactly where you started, only now burdened by deceit. This reason involves multiplying your risk. 2. Multiplying financial and health risk. The destruction. You introduce immense risk into your life, STDs, unexpected pregnancy, private investigator fees, increased divorce litigation costs. Biologically, the stress of secrecy is massive. Furthermore, you risk introducing serious health problems into your committed relationship, which is a profound act of irresponsibility. Emotionally, you sacrifice the hard-earned financial security that provides comfort and freedom for a moment of desperate relief. Practically, the financial and legal costs of cheating during a divorce often dwarf the fleeting pleasure of the act. 1. The erosion of masculine self-respect. The destruction. Regardless of the circumstances, cheating is an act of weakness and desperation. It denies your capacity to solve problems maturely. Biologically, you act from a place of chronic stress and need, not strength and self-control. This behavior is the definition of low status and low self-respect. Emotionally, your ultimate responsibility is to yourself. You are telling yourself that you are so weak and dependent that you must violate your own principles to survive. Practically, the strength to endure the denial with dignity, while prioritizing your own growth, is the highest form of masculine power. Cheating is the surrender of that power. The answer to the question, should I cheat, is no. Your path to health and peace is not through betrayal, but through empowerment and boundary setting. 1. The final confrontation, clear the air. The plan. Sit down with your wife and clearly, calmly, and non-emotionally state the reality of the sexless marriage and its impact on you. The script. I am communicating to you that the lack of intimacy is destroying the foundational commitment of our marriage. I value my vows and I choose to remain faithful, but I need you to know that the situation is untenable and requires mutual effort to change. The goal. You remove the ambiguity. You take accountability for your choice to stay, but make clear that the status quo is unacceptable. You shift the responsibility for the solution back to the marriage unit. The self-work priority. Build your own life force. The plan. Aggressively focus on areas of your life that build your confidence, purpose, and self-validation, entirely independent of her approval or affection. What to commit to. Focus on intensive physical training, career goals, and deep, meaningful male friendships. The emotional impact. You neutralize the power of her withdrawal. When you are strong within yourself, her denial becomes irrelevant to your self-worth. 3. The unconditional boundary. My integrity is non-negotiable. The plan. Draw a firm, non-negotiable boundary around your personal integrity. You will not violate your values, and you will not be manipulated into doing so. The rule. Focus on what you can control: your honesty, your fitness, your finances, and your self-respect. The goal. You choose dignity over temporary relief. This is the path of masculine strength. Good man, your worth is not measured by your wife's willingness to grant you sex. Your worth is measured by your commitment to your own integrity, especially when you are being attacked or deprived. You are a man of high character. Preserve that character. It is the greatest asset you possess. Use the immense pressure of the sexless marriage as an anvil to forge a stronger, more resilient self. Do not betray your values for a momentary fix. Make a commitment right now. Tell me in the comments one thing you will do this week to build up your own internal strength, independent of your wife's behavior. If this video gave you the clarity and courage to choose your integrity, please like, share it, and subscribe to our channel. I'm Dr. Jocelyn, and I look forward to supporting your enduring strength.